Hello again everybody, so today I'm back and today I'm going to be doing a video that I've been promising for about 18 months. So 18 months ago in a video I mentioned that I liked cooking and that food and drink books were something that were really important to me, that I really loved having and flicking through and using to cook all the time. I eat so much food. Literally everyone I work with, all of my family are just baffled by how I physically manage to eat as much food as I do. So this is something that I'm really passionate about and that I really love. I've spent quite a lot of time working on cookery books and that's something I absolutely love to do. And so today I'm going to share with you my top 5 cookery books in my collection. These are the ones that I pulled out the most, the ones that are the most used, with loads of really tasty recipes. I'm going to be letting you know a few recipes from each which I particularly love. And I'm just intrigued to see what you guys think about this new video. A whole new perspective, looking instead at food and drink books, which is something that I don't think gets covered on YouTube a whole ton. So getting right on into it, I don't want to hold this one up for too long because it is an absolute brick. But that's Leith's How to Cook. So Leith's is the cookery school in London which was founded by Prue Leith, the new Bake Off judge. She's never been more famous than she is now. But essentially this is like the cookery school. It's been massive for ages and they've got a whole selection of books, basically, which are combo recipe books but also how to cook, essentially. So there's like 5 or 6 which are like techniques and a baking bible, but this is the one that I've had the longest and this is the one that I love the most. It's just Leith's How to Cook. So literally it's basically a start to finish cookery course. You start off with all the basic things like how to fillet a chicken, how to dice an onion, the really basic simple things, how to make a stock, how to make mayonnaise, like loads of really stuff that you wouldn't necessarily do a lot, but the stuff that kind of is the building blocks of how to cook. And then it builds into really complicated things. You get into really elaborate like veloutés and all this kind of stuff. And it's a really amazing book. I've used loads of recipes from this. And it's just really interesting because it really takes you through the stages of cooking. If you're not a particularly confident cook, but you want to get into it more, this is the perfect book for that. Next up is a book which I would be willing to bet most people, one of their family has got this cookbook hidden away somewhere. And that's Jamie Oliver's 30-Minute Meals. So this was huge when this came out. It was kind of a new revolutionary idea about really timing it and cooking in 30 minutes. Now, whether you can actually cook these things in 30 minutes is a different question. But what it is a really clever book which basically gives you lots of like meal plans. So it gives you, this is the meal you're making, these are the 4 components of it, and this is how you put it together in the quickest time possible. Yes, none of these have ever taken me less than 45 minutes, but it's just a very clever way of like stacking your food together, and a lot of the recipes that are paired together use like one will use half a lemon, the other will use the other half, and it's just very clever in terms of that minimising the waste and cooking in kind of quite a clever, economical way, both time and money and waste. Really lovely. There's some amazing recipes in here. There's a warm garden salad with like pancetta and balsamic vinegar, which I make literally probably once a month. There's amazing potatoes of all different types, crispy potatoes. It's really great. It's got loads of interesting components, loads of ready-made meals that you just need to whap out. He's got all the times and everything done, all in one go to put this whole dinner party together. It's just a really cleverly done book, really well put together and really tasty food. The next book has kind of to help me overcome one of the biggest conundrums in my life, and that is what to have for lunch. So obviously when you're at work, quite often you're a bit limited on what you can have. You don't want to be buying lunch every day because then you would spend all of your wages on food. So this is a book that really helped me to plan that a little better. And it's called, inventively, The Little Book of Lunch. And this is basically full of salads, sandwiches, make-ahead things like ratatouille, things that you can heat up, things you can eat cold, to really keep lunch interesting and fresh. I got into a cycle of eating soup basically every day. And this is the book that really helped me kind of branch out and make interesting new types of sandwich, interesting types of salad, things that I would never have considered having for lunch. It's got a really interesting selection in. And I think if you are one of these people that works and wants to be better at taking lunch to work with you, try this book because it really did change how I looked at what I could eat at lunchtime at work. And I think it could really work for you guys too. We are on to the 2 big boys now. So these are probably the books that I've used the most and that I like the most. And the first one is called On the Side by Ed Smith. So this is a book that I did used to work on in my old job, but it is a book that I have used so many times. Essentially, it's a compendium of side dishes. So I think when it comes to a meal, I'll know I'm going to have roast chicken, or I'm going to have a steak, or I'm going to have a pork chop. What I love most about those meals is the extra things that go with it. So what kind of potato you have is more important to me than what kind of protein you have. What kind of veg you have really makes a meal different, completely different. And this is perfect for that because it is literally just a source book of those exciting, interesting, unusual side dishes. It covers everything from like grains to potatoes to root vegetables to greens, spring vegetables. It's got the whole selection. There's a chorizo roast potato recipe in here, which I have used literally so many times since I got this book earlier on this year. It's so tasty, it's super simple, and it's just really interesting. It adds a real excitement to your meal, because I quite often think making a really nice protein can be quite hard work. Making a really nice tasty side dish can be much easier, and this is full of ideas for that. I think if you do enjoy cooking and mixing it up and trying different combinations, you should really give this a go. And now on to the granddaddy of them all. This is my favourite cookbook of all time. It's Eat by Nigel Slater. So Nigel Slater he's just such a fascinating, interesting guy anyway. He's got a he really loves food. You can really tell the way he talks about his TV programmes, the way he writes about it in the book. He loves food. He really respects it so much. And this is essentially a collection of the whole twist of it is that it's meant to be quick, fast, tasty food. What I love about it is that it's quick, it's tasty, it's really comforted a lot of the food, and it gives you a lot of agency to do what you want to do with the food. So a lot of it is like, add a sprinkle of this, add a dash of that, add some of this. It's really like nondescript, and it gives a lot of leeway for you to tweak how you want to do it. So for instance, there's a really nice chicken mustard goujon recipe in here, and it's like, add mustard and you get to add how much you want. Mustard is one of my favourite foods, and I put so much in there, whereas somebody else might not like the mustard as much and just put a tad in, and it really gives you that leeway that you don't feel like you're breaking the recipe. You feel like you've got Nigel's okay to say, yeah, you do what you want to do, you enjoy this how you want to enjoy it. And I think that's a great thing to have in a cookbook. I love experimenting with this. There's so many amazing recipes in there. I've tried loads of stuff from this, and everything has been great. Nothing has disappointed me yet. And I think it's such a nice book as well in terms of the package. I think it's a great present. It's one that I use all the time, and I would definitely advise it as my favourite cookbook. So there you have it. That's a rudimentary tour of my favourite cookbooks, and I'm really excited to see what you guys think about this new direction. So do leave a like down below and comment and let me know what you think. I'm really intrigued to know whether you like this new avenue of content, or whether you'd rather I didn't talk about food as much. I could talk about food forever. And if you have enjoyed, do subscribe. It's really appreciated. I'm really enjoying being back and doing this again, and I'm really excited to show you guys what else I've got to come going forward. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you soon with my next video.